I would also like to invite Mr. Humayun Kabir, President Safa, to join us on stage. I would request Mr. Puram Shazad, Advisor to Finance Minister, to please come on the stage and receive the speaker.
Sir.
Now, I would like to invite Mr. Pravin Kumar Jha, Vice President Safa, to come on the stage and receive the souvenir. He is not around. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Tishan Subhasinghe. If he is present in hall. Mr. Kausar Alam, President ICMAT. Mr. Kausar Alam. Mr. Abdul Qayyum, Treasurer. Now, Mr. Ghulam Mustafa Qazi. Mr. Muhammad Yasin, Vice President. Mr. Samiullah Siddiqui, President ICAP. Mr. Kausar Alam, President ICMAB. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. A big round of applause for everyone who is present on the stage. A round of applause, please. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are moving next for our keynote session 2, titled Technology, Regulation and the Future of Financial Reporting. Technology and regulation are reshaping the future of financial reporting faster than ever before. To deliver the keynote address on this highly relevant theme, we are honored to welcome Mr. Sabir Ahmed, FCA. Mr. Sabir Ahmed is Technical Advisor to Safa and Chair of Safa's Professional Ethics and Independence Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Sabir Ahmed, FCA.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I had the hardest job of the day. That is to keep you awake after this beautiful lunch. Normally, in post-lunch session, they provide Red Bull or some other sort of energy drink or high caffeine drink so that people remain awake. Maybe next time, my respected Azim Bhai can plan to have something like that. Okay. So until that next time, it's for me to try and get you awake for next 15-20 minutes. After that, you have very exciting panel discussion. I'm sure you will be awake to hear that. Okay, so before starting, I would like to gratefully acknowledge the wonderful hospitality that ICMA Pakistan has provided us, all the foreign delegates who came here yesterday and today. Thank you so much for this generous hospitality. The theme of this technical session is technology, regulation, and the future of financial reporting. Before starting, I would like to ask for a quiz. How many of you heard the name of this book, The Reckoning? Anyone? There is another exciting gift for the right answer. No? There is a gentleman, historian, academician named Job Saul, who wrote a book where he mentioned from the ancient times until very recent how the accounting led the rise and fall of nations. Because even we have seen in the ancient times, if the government exchequers were not managed properly, it led to the fall of that country or that ruler. But do we accounting only involve in bookkeeping? I don't think so. You would agree. Professional accountants of today are not a mere bookkeeper or compliance checker. They have multiple roles. They design financial architecture on the basis of which all these systems, ERP, automation are based on. They interpret uncertainty faced by the business. Data. But what the use of that data if we could not able to translate that data into a decision or enable that data to make decision? We financial accountants translate data into actionable decision. We safeguard public interest. Our role involved analytical, judgment incentive, forward-looking assistance to the business or community where we work. Now, coming to the first topic, three things we will discuss or deliberate: technology, regulation, and financial reporting. So, if we see the evolving role of technology, initially technology was a function only, that is support function. Then it became core business operation. Nowadays, it is very difficult to comprehend a business without technology. So it became integral part of business operation. Where we are heading now is, or already many companies, entities are there, strategic decision making. Technology is an enabling tool for our strategic decision making. Role of technology, it brings transparency, accountability, and governance, because it removes many manual or subjective elements, especially around assumptions and limitations, output and decision, very mechanical, and the governance through various model development, data validation. Technology do assist us in governance framework. So if we look at the role of technology, previously it was individual driven, now it's system driven. Previously it was explicit rules, but now there is a probabilistic model, various model that defines data. And previously it was reasoning, various reasoning, now it's algorithm that drives every process. But we should not forget, technology is not one size fit for all or one medicine for all ailments. Yes, technology can influence your behavioral pattern, but accountability, ethics, fiduciary responsibility remain with human. Whatever output comes from technology, you cannot put technology to the jail or to the task. That responsibility of governing logic, assumptions, and limitations are inherently human. At least in our lifetime or in next perhaps 20, 30, 50 years, we don't see technology replicating human on those areas. So human oversight remains a forefront where judgment and public interests are concerned. So we are not going anywhere. We public accountants remain here, but our role will change. So what is expected from professional accountants? Integrate judgment into financial, technology, and sustainability related matters. Ensure that technology increase trust, not erode trust. It's very important. With especially the advancement of AI, deepfake, all those tools available, sometimes technology can erode trust instead of bringing trust. We need to be careful. And then we need to translate complexity to clarity for decision making. And ultimately that will result as being a steward for long-term value addition or value created in data and technology-driven world. Now coming to the second point, technology we discussed, now regulation. If we look at the transformative aspect of regulation, regulations are driven by many things. For example, societal trend and values that drive regulation. When society has certain value and tradition, regulation reflected that. When the society's those value erode or change, regulation also need to catch up with that. Similarly, technological evolution required legislation. Our very honorable, respected speaker just before the lunch session has mentioned, your country, Pakistan, is first in the world who has adopted cryptocurrency act or going to adopt cryptocurrency act. 10 years back, it was irrelevant. So there was no regulation required. But now, because of the technological advancement, you have to do regulation. Economic condition, that also drives regulation. Political priority drives regulation. Prior experience of having a regulation also drives new regulation. Geopolitics, a growing phenomena of our time, that also drives regulation. So regulation is not confined only on some certain matters, it's a very holistic approach. Now, if we cascade down to our own territory, that is the financial governance, financial accounting, our role as a financial accountant, how that is shaping up. Sorry, a little bit of technical glitch. Okay. If we look at the regulation that impacted our work as a professional accountant, we would see previous regulations only focus on historical information. Companies Act, if you look at, those were initially only with the compliance, bookkeeping, those areas. 1913 Companies Act, I think Pakistan also used to have the same because it was a British law. Bangladesh, India, Pakistan all had initially this 1913 Company Act. Then it moved to the various phases in various countries. So if you look at the initial 1913 Act, it was primarily focused on bookkeeping and certain compliance. Then came regulation around ethics and governance. Then sustainability and performance. Regulations are how you act. Pollution, environmental aspect, reporting, all those embedded in regulation. Then when technology take a forefront, regulations were enacted how to manage data, how to secure the data, how to avoid unauthorized access to data. Those regulations came in place. Then when cloud computing, all those things came in, then regulation came around data transfer, data flow between the various jurisdictions. And finally, when in current days we have AI, automation, technology, then also regulation is catching up. So as I mentioned in earlier slide, regulation is most often reactive as opposed to proactive. However, it is not unseen that sometimes regulation also come as a proactive measure. But most often, regulation come as a after effect of certain event or certain matter. Now comes to the third section of my presentation, future of financial reporting. What we see or anticipate, it's not a rocket science. All within this room perhaps would appreciate. We are moving towards AI-driven automation and digital transformation. We expect to have real-time data analysis and reporting and enhanced reporting, ESG reporting, environmental sustainability, governance related reporting. So these were the trend in financial reporting that we have seen over the last decade or so. Use of big data, blockchain, cloud accounting, IoT, Internet of Things, robotics, all these things, crypto, these were embedded in financial reporting ecosystem. Then real-time data availability. Gone are the days of even quarterly or monthly reporting, let alone annual reporting. Now businesses need real-time data. And we have seen with the automation, most of those needs are fulfilled now. And then we have seen the growing focus on ESG. Not only what you achieve, but how you achieve. IFRS S1, S2 is already there. Assurance on sustainability is already there. So if we look at core financial reporting guideline, that is IFRS, over the last few years, we would see how technology and this sustainability also impacted these standards. IFRS 9, for example, give a strong focus on own business model. And in order to have your own business model, you have to have a very robust data analysis. IFRS 15, 5-step revenue model, contract with customer, also required a lot of data, a lot of analysis that required use of technology. IFRS 16, leads, in order to calculate your ROU assets and liabilities, interest, all these things require massive amount of data analytics. IFRS 17, insurance contract. Similarly, general measurement model cannot be done in a very simple Excel. You need quite robust system to support such calculation. And then came very recent edition, IFRS 18. It is to some extent change the storytelling. It's not what we have achieved, it is how you achieve. And that's why you will see in IFRS 18, the focus has, as compared to IS 1, where focus was how performance is measured. But IFRS 18 required you to consider and disclose how performance is communicated. Very important. Not how you measured it, but how you are communicating it. Just if we consider a parallel example of sustainability related reporting, we would see the journey. What started in 1990s as a self-reporting of sustainable information, sustainability related information through Kyoto Protocol, establishment of GRI, moved to UN Millennium Development Goal in 2000s. Demand for climate action resulted in carbon trading, net zero emission targets, and demand for responsible investment. A strong investor group or pressure group created which required sustainable investment. And that is why ESG reporting started to emerge. But all were mostly self-driven. Post-global financial crisis of 2009 fast-tracked those. We have seen Millennium Development Goal translated into Sustainable Development Goal. We have seen formation of TCFD by FSD. We have seen momentum in ESG reporting. We have seen various regulators around the world started to direct ESG reporting. And also we have seen limited scale assurance on ESG reporting. And then finally, post-COVID, from 2020, we look at, we have seen COP26 Glasgow Summit, where environmental took a center stage. We have also seen the trend in greenwashing, where misrepresenting the ESG reporting. And that is why ISSB has been formed under IFRS Foundation, International Sustainability Standards Board. That resulted in issuance of S1S and S2 IFRS standards on sustainability. And similarly, to avoid greenwashing, to have independent assurance, new ISP project has been taken that resulted in issuance of ISSA 5000. So if we look at the journey, we expect similar trend in financial reporting as well. Through coming of IFRS 18, I think the trend will come. The new area of financial reporting will emerge, and that will be largely driven by technology. So, for example, just to emphasize on the ESG aspect, how broader reporting framework has become. Your environmental matter, social matter, economic and cultural, not only relevant to your financial, but your activities, your products, services, your policy, performance, plan, business goal, governance, all encompassing area. How your activity impact climate, biodiversity, labor, responding sourcing. We have seen many chocolate companies, for example, put that this is ethically sourced. Labor practices. Pakistan is quite similar to Bangladesh, largely driven on R&D, on the textile segment, R&D export. Now the buyers are putting very strong focus on the labor management aspect. So it is no longer remain voluntary. It remains now compliance driven. So towards end, we would say technology to evolve faster than regulation and standards. That is our anticipation. Regulation will catch up with the technology. As I second time quote, that the crypto resulted in changing regulation. Data will multiply faster than understanding. This is a catch-22 situation. Expectation will rise faster than certainty. Multiple stakeholders, we professional accountants deal with multiple stakeholders. Their expectation would be much higher than what we can achieve. And then technology will enhance human capability, but not behavior and judgment. That inherently will remain human. And that's why I have to be a good human so that I can use technology for the betterment. And that's why we professional accountants still expected to decide what numbers mean. We need to judge whether something is reasonable, and most importantly, tell the story behind numbers. And it is a journey need to be done through collaboration. A forum like Safa, an international event like this one, can bring various people from various parts of this region or even global event. And through this exchange of ideas, knowledge sharing, experience, we can learn and unlearn and help each other. That's the end of my this boring 15-20 minutes session, and the aim or objective to keep you awake. I don't know how much I become succeeded, but next panel session will reflect that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sabir Ahmed, for your valuable words. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move towards the next panel discussion of today's conference, which is on public sector accountability and national development. National development is not built by plans alone, but by people who deliver on those plans transparently. We are joined by experts who live this reality daily. So please welcome our esteemed panelists.
For this panel discussion, we have, first of all, Abdul Mateen Patwari, FCMA,
Mr. Ziaul Mustafa, FCMA,
Mr. Asad Hamid Khan, Head of ACCA, Pakistan,
Ms. Zareen Muhammad Hussain, FCA, Council Member, ICAB.
and to moderate this panel discussion, we invite Mr. Shahzad Ahmed Awan, FCMA, a seasoned finance and governance professional with over 31 years of experience. Mr. Shahzad Awan has contributed to ICMA Pakistan, Safa, ICAP, and PIFA while holding senior leadership position in SUI Northern Gas Pipelines Limited.
Ladies and gentlemen, with such an accomplished panel representing both professional bodies and public policy institutions, we look forward to an engaging and impactful discussion. Over to the moderator. Thank you so much. Please put your hands together for all the panelists.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you hear me, please? Can you raise your hands if I am audible? Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, learned panelists, very good afternoon. It's a matter of immense pleasure and honor for me to moderate this session, which is being conducted on a very significant topic, that is governance and national development. Gentlemen, you would agree with me that in today's most fast-moving world, the term governance has no longer meaning of rules, regulations, or compliances thereagainst. As a matter of fact, the term governance has changed altogether, and now it stands for building trust, accountability, transparency, and ethical values. So, dear friends, today, the meaning concept of business has altogether been changed. There was a time when we used to think like that business is considered to be a good business that earns maximum returns for the owners. But today, the word good business stands as an ethical business, the business with morality, the business which is being conducted through moral values. So all these challenges are being faced today, and the governments which have developed their governance ecosystem, definitely they are improving their every sector of the economy in a good way. And the countries which has not been able to develop their good governance systems, definitely their results are vice versa. So, gentlemen, today there are number of challenges being faced by the governments in the world in general, and if we talk about the South Asian countries, these countries are facing more particular challenges like trade deficits, they have financial reporting issues, they have accounting challenges, etc. So today we are very fortunate to have a panel of seasoned persons here. They will definitely deliberate on all these issues one by one, and I am pretty sure after having this session, you would all be better informed on the matter before while you attending this program. So this is my moral duty just to say a few words about the panelists so you can better judge the seasoned how these guys are. With us, we have Mr. Abdul Mateen Patwari. He is Vice President, Institute of Cost and Management, Accountants of Bangladesh. We have with us Ms. Zareen Hussain. She is basically council member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh. She is also the chairperson of the Public Relations Committee of South Asian Federation of Accountants. We are fortunate to have with us Mr. Zial Mustafa. We all know him. He is chairman of Strategic Board of ICMAP. He remained past president of Institute of Cost and Management Accountant for a number of times. He has also served as president South Asian Federation of Accountants, and above all, he remained on number of other very pivotal committees of International Federation of Accountants, IFAC as well. We have with us Mr. Asad Hamid Khan. He is head of ACCA Pakistan. And I am pretty sure with the kind of blend we have at the stage, we will definitely have a very strong insight on the topic. So let me begin with a very broad question, and I would request all the panelists to please, keeping in view the constraint of the time, you are allowed to speak on this question, which is a common question for all of you, for about 2 minutes time. Right? So my first question is, in many countries, governance reforms are on paper but fail in implementation phase. What may be the key institutional barriers and how can they be effectively achieved? So I would like to start the session from the Vice President, Institute of Accountants of Bangladesh.
So thank you. Definitely, our audience are little bit tired. Despite this, definitely I find that significant people are also hearing us. We are very proud of you, so that you are giving you time. The good question is that you know that we are talking about the reforms definitely everywhere, especially in the South Asia. It is a very attractive subject. Why in terms of implementation, monitoring and effectiveness and value addition, we are not so, you can say, prominent the way we are looking at the reforms. My understanding, because I've been with German company, I have seen that they are also giving significant time in planning. But regarding the execution, they are very ruthless. In that perspective, I should say that people are always be happy to be within their comfort zone. So we don't like to go beyond comfort zone. This is a common human psychology that everywhere is adopted. Now come to the next point, the commitment and determination that should be there, that is missing. Especially in the South Asia, I have seen that whatever we are talking about, and I have seen that we are not talking from the heart. Sometimes we are talking from the environment. In one phase, we are accepting it in one area, and the next phase, whenever we are going to the different part, we are giving the different opinion. So from that perspective, basically the commitment, determination are missing. Now come to the point, whatever the changes you would like to make in the form of reforms, it is not a very easy job. So I have seen that in the multinational organization, they always focus on change management under the different heading. So they are basically driving the changes so that reforms take into place. And in many cases, we have seen that reform initiative we are taking, but we are not employing resources in order to implement monitoring, corrective action, and the preventive measure. So that are basically missing part. Thank you.
Hussain sir, may I request the honorable audience to please keep seated? Hamad sahab, if you can please sit down. Thank you so much. And I would request the kind attention of the audience because we will not be benefited of this topic, this session, if we are not involved and if we are not good listener. So be a good listener. I would be very grateful to all of you. Thank you. So now I request ma'am to please share your thoughts on my question.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. Before I begin, it's a great privilege to be here in this beautiful city, the conference, and the panel. For governance reforms, it's what you were talking about, that we can have it on paper, but implementation fails sometimes. Because I think at times there is a mandate, but the pipeline or readiness is not there. And I will talk about specific example. For the Bangladesh, the listed companies, it's now mandated to have one woman independent director in the board. And so the mandate came was last year in April 2025. That wasn't fulfilled, so it was extended again for December, and it hasn't been done. So now they'll probably put a hard deadline at some point. But because the pipeline wasn't ready, although there was this mandate, the companies could not fulfill. And so one of the work that ICAB is currently doing with IFC is to create that pipeline of board-ready independent directors, not just women independent directors, but independent directors, so that governance is strengthened. And because for good governance, you just don't need like that independent director to be there, but you need their competence, their independence and courage. So this is something that we are working on, and hopefully we can kind of like change the narrative and have a very strong pipeline of not just women professionals or women accountants and chartered accountants, but have a broader group of people that gets trained to sit on boards and work on governance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ali. Now I would request Mr. Ziaul Mustafa to please share your thoughts on this particular question. And question was, in many countries, government reforms exist on paper, but their implementation is not that good that was desired. So what is your take on it?
We have no doubt very good suggestions, and but these are not implementing. This is what you are saying. So I can say the issue is will. If there is a will, there is a way. But there is no will. Sometimes, our countries in South Asia, they are, there is a system in place that is a system of civil servants, which is, has its own dynamics. To understand any profession, and especially when we are talking about the financial reporting, governance, and, this kind of mechanism, so they have their own dynamics. And we have duplication in different laws. Normally, corporate sector is governed by the Securities Exchange Commission of that country, and the government institutions, most of the institutions have their own statutes. They are, under that umbrella. So this is somehow a duplication, uniformity is lacking, domain knowledge is lacking, the kind of importance of financial reporting and mechanism. So the first thing which I believe that you must have a professionals of that background. So, and the accounting organization in the South Asia can play a very effective role by introducing the diplomas, certification to train those government servants, public servants for the short accountancy courses, rather than inviting for a CA and CMS program. We can go for the IPSAS certification program, so they can understand the importance of this financial reporting and the report governance mechanism. So I believe this is the where we can start. In Pakistan, no doubt there is several things that are happening, and as ma'am said, representation of the female on the board. This is the part of the law, and in Pakistan, this is also mandatory that you must have a one female director on the board. Composition of the dependent and executive directors and independent directors on the board. So I believe our mechanism is in front of us, but will is required. Will is required to implement this.
Thank you, Zasab. Now, may I request Mr. Asad Hamid Khan to please share your thoughts on the same question. Kindly be within your time. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. First of all, I'd like to congratulate ICMAP for the 75-year celebrations, Diamond Jubilee. Wishing you another 75. Thank you to Safa and all the delegates to commemorate this in Pakistan with our very worthy national body, which is the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of Pakistan. Coming back to your question, so we are talking about reforms on paper and the lack of result. There is a report that ACCA did a few years back, and it was called Professionalism in Public Sector or Professionalization in Public Sector. So my thoughts resonate with what Mr. Ziaul Mustafa has mentioned, that while there is an ambition to go from policy to building capacity, while there is an ambition to go towards action, and last but not the least, to try and deliver results, the challenge lies in the will. And the best business case is that we have talked about digital in the previous session. I must commend Mr. Shabir for a wonderful presentation. If you look at Benazir Income Support Program, if you look at how RAST has enabled digital payment, wherever there has been a will, there has been a flawless implementation. So will is the starting point, and will for the political system or for the bureaucracy or for the professionals is when you're able to demonstrate the return on that investment. In Pakistan, what we have done is that reform has been made very boring. Reform as a terminology has been made very lengthy. Reform as a process has been made as a process without accountability. So, if I were to say, if reforms were time-bound, had timelines, had short milestones, and is looked as a journey, then Pakistan would have done really well. But if you look at the overall reform, for example, when we talk about the public financial management, we may have done well in terms of doing some bits of reporting, but we have not been able to utilize that data for better decision making. The other thing is that if there is reporting available, then it should have helped us improve our GDP. So I would just sum up by saying that first element for a successful reform is the will to implement it. And the second key component is that how you can make it as a journey where the momentum continues and you show results which have a return on investment and have a direct impact with your economic strategy. So if integration is brought into this entire process and you can see how the public sector reform, which is primarily the focus, ends up contributing to developing your economy and improving or enhancing your GDP, probably we would have a different perception on how the reform was executed. Thank you.
Ji, Khan Sahab, thank you so much. Now, after having a common question from all the panelists, now I would like to have specific question individually from every panelist. And first, I would like to ask my question from the Vice President ICMAB, Mr. Abdul Mateen Patwari sir. So, sir, what is one governance reform from your Bangladesh that has significantly contributed to the national development, and that governance can also be replicated in other South Asian countries as well? Please.
Okay. You know that we are developing, so definitely our governance system is also in the development phase. But I think that one good governance practice can also be followed in the South Asian countries, especially in the political arenas, in the election process. That is, the interim government can play a significant role in creating an election environment in the national politics, which is acceptable, reliable, and credible to all the parties. Otherwise, I have seen that whatever the comfortable it is, if I am losing, then the election process is not fair. And apart from this, our integrity is also in question. From the government perspective, we can also take it into board. I can also give another example from the ICMAB Bangladesh as well. I have seen that we are maintaining a legacy. Definitely legacy is better, definitely. But it does not mean that you will not entertain the new blood into the common phenomenon of your managerial and the policy making process. There also we have put some restriction in terms of the president, office bearer, so that the new blood can also come into the process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So far, we have discussed a bit about the present day situation of governance. Now, let me ask a question from Ms. Zareen Hussain. She is the council member of ICAP. So, ma'am, what will define good governance in next decade? I mean, would it be technology, ethics, or institutional strength? What is your take on it, please?
Sorry, sir. Can you please repeat the question,
Yes,
the first part? I couldn't hear.
definitely. I repeat the question. So my question was, what will define good governance in the next 10 years' time, down the road from now, next 10 years? Would it be technology? Would you think, would it be ethics, or would it be institutional strength?
Okay. Thank you, sir. For good governance, it's the institutions have to be strengthened. And because that's the foundation for an institution to fail or if it can prosper. And when we are strengthening an institution, how do we do it? In the coming years, it's the policies would matter, the people would matter, but also how efficiently we are using our resources. That oversight is very important, and for that, how we are using our technology, that would be very important, because I think like that would set the institutions apart, and not just institutionally, at the government level, public sector level. I would give you an example from the education sector in Bangladesh. It is one of the largest education systems in the public education systems in the world. 40 million people are in that, students are there. It has over, I think about over 1 million teachers. So it's huge. But right now, where it is, the teachers do not have access to AI knowledge as well. And at the extent that how technology is moving, if a teacher doesn't know this, how does that teacher doesn't even have to implement it in classrooms, but like, how are you gonna use it to form questions, to teach better? And in these cases, it the like, it's important that we invest in technology institutionally, for governance, but to change systems across sectors as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for such a detailed response, ma'am. Since our number of qualified accountants are serving with different public sector organizations and are one of the learned panelists, Mr. Zia, he has also got a vast exposure with public sector organizations. Therefore, my next question is from Mr. Ziaul Mustafa. Sir, what do you think, what role CMS can play in fostering of governance and national development with public sector organizations?
CMA, I believe this is all depends on your knowledge, trainings, and the adaptability of different new challenges. CMAs and all professional accountants, I believe, are have been through this process of knowledge testing, and they have the experience of the corporate sector. So the kind of experience which is required for public sector is almost same. But the process and procedures and the challenges in the public sector is somehow different. You have to be more vigilant, you have to be more transparent, and you have to, watch the public interest. When there is a public interest, then the dynamics of the things are different. The profitability is not the issue for a public sector organization. The main issue is the public trust, whether you are gaining that public trust, you are protecting the public interest or not. But in corporate, when we are doing a business, private business, sometimes the stakeholders, preference is the profitability. So the organization should be. But here you have to be in the public service. You have to maintain that balance, that you should deliver with ethics, transparent manners. So I believe the professional accountants are very well trained. The issue is still that the kind of opportunities the professional accountant have to gain in this public sector. Most of the departments have no pathway for the professional accountants to join. Like in Pakistan, if I just talk about Pakistan, the Auditor General of Pakistan and the Accountant General, which are purely doing the audit and accounting function. For them, in these organizations, for professional accountant, there is not a pathway available. So the government has to consider these things, that the pathway for the professionals, whether they are engineers, architects, doctors, lawyers, or accountants, the pathway for the professionals should be available in the public sector. Because the success in any organization is mainly depend on their human resource. I believe the behind success of every organization, there is human resource. And if you have not a relevant human resource and the technical human resource, then it is very difficult to cope with challenges. So I believe that the professional accounting organizations can play an effective role. In Pakistan, a lot of legislation has been done that for the CFO, for the CIA, for the company secretary, for the chief executive, doors are open for the professional accountant. They can contribute. But there are still challenges that the large organizations which are working in authority mode, which are working in different other, mode, in those organizations, there are some challenges, and the audit mechanism is duplicated in the public sector organization. They have to get audit through the professional accountant firm. They have to go through the audit through Auditor General. So these are the, things in which public sector is always, always in the audit for the 6 months. You can safely say they are, in the business of audit. So this is a way how we can improve the systems. We can use the technology. So, but for this, I again say the will of the government, the will of the stakeholders are required, and the old British civil service system in the South Asia needs to be reformed.
Thank you, Joseph. Gentlemen, if we look at the globe in general or the South Asian countries in particular, we have witnessed over the years the role of financial accounting bodies has remained always very pivotal, very significant. Whether the financial body is ICAP, ICMAB, ICMAP, ACCA, you can name any accounting body, they played very significant role in national development of any country. Since we have with us Khan Saab, who is heading the ACCA, so I would like to ask this very question and would like to hear from horse's mouth. Sir, my question is, what role should professional accounting bodies should play in strengthening public financial management and accountability in public sector as head of the ACCA, please?
Yeah, thank you much. Professional accounting bodies are an association of professionals and primarily finance professionals. So when we talk about strengthening public financial management, we have to understand that the professional accounting bodies are key enablers in terms of shaping as well as influencing policies. But that in itself is not enough. Once the policy has been set, it has to be put into action, and that is where the role of professional accountants and professional bodies come in. And over the years, I think if we look at it from ACCA's perspective, that the role the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan and the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of Pakistan has done has been commendable in terms of uplifting the public sector in realizing that what sort of capacity is required to drive the ambitions that they have. So capacity is key in that area. Another intersection is that professional bodies have a very strong understanding of the economic pulse. They are connected with different sectors. They are connected with the private sector. They are connected with international businesses. They are connected with their counterparts. They are also connected with what the other governments are doing in terms of policy. So they are enablers of bringing best practices into operations in Pakistan. Last but not the least, I think something that professional accounting bodies can continue to support is that every reform that comes into play, I'm sure that by default, whether it's the Supreme Audit Institution, the Supreme Accounting Institution, whether it is the Ministry of Finance, even if I look at it from an economic enablement, when we're talking about increasing our GDP, enhancing our tax revenues, enhancing the fiscal space for the government to service its expenditures for the benefit of the citizens. So the professional accounting bodies bring focused focused insights, international best practices, and I would say transparency, because whatever they are doing within their other domain is creating value. So I'd like to encourage the government, the public sector to continue to leverage on the professional accounting bodies simply because of the fact that they bring in a very different and independent view when it comes to the government's implementation. Last but not the least, a very important thing for the government, which usually gets messed up because it's missed because we are a cash or a modified cash-based accounting system within the public sector. We are trying to transition to accrual, that the contingencies, the commitments, and the risks which have a financial impact, they do not get captured on the balance sheet or on the profit and loss of the government till the time they are incumbent upon us. So I think the biggest next step for the professional accounting bodies would be to help the government transition into full accrual basis. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Khan Sahib. Gentlemen, since we are living in a world which is now considered as a global village, so without having discussion on this issue, I believe this session could not be complete. So therefore, I would ask a question from Mr. Abdul Mateen Patwari, Vice President, ICMAB. Sir, what lessons from global experience can be applied to South Asia to get benefit of their experiences which they had at other developed countries?
My understanding is that, so definitely, you know that there is no limit of perfection. So you can improve, and the improvement process will continue. It will be a never-ending process. But my understanding is that the best practice is that whatever they say, they believe on it. And in our case, I have seen that whatever we are telling, we are not believing it, and we are not pursuing it, and we are not committed to find out the end result. So that part we have the difference. In terms of mindset, I have seen that our mindset is completely different. We are always focusing on excuses instead of finding a positive direction in order to achieve it. So there also we have, I should say that we have focus on this mindset, so that basically instead of coming up with the excuses, how to deliver it, we can give better focus. And another thing that I already mentioned already, that change management, we are basically taking initiative. We are, most of the cases, it may not be the participative, but still we would like to implement it. After a certain time, when the fund is vanished, then the initiative is also not in the picture. And there is the missing gap in terms of implementation. I have seen that in the other countries, mostly whatever they believe, they do it, and ultimately they find the result. But another part I should also mention, that about the character and the integrity in terms of ethics. That's also we need to focus. We know that everybody, we are learned person. As long as we will focus on our character, definitely we will get the respect. And in terms of ethics, definitely it will define how far we will go. That part basically I have seen that we are missing. I would like to also mention one part that we normally discuss in our within our community, that the Western world, they are not Muslim, but they really follow the basic spirit of Muslim. If we follow the basic spirit of Muslim, what we should do, and definitely you will find the difference. Thank you.
Ji, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, since we have time constraints, so therefore this would be my last question. And I don't have any privilege to ask any one of you because the knowledge being shared is outstanding. So I just let on you, whoever would like to reply, he can reply this question. Since, gentlemen, we are passing through the age of digitalization, so this is my personal conviction, being cost and management accountant or chartered accountant or ACCAs, we can't escape from this digital era. So my question to the learned panelist is again towards, excuse me. So question is, how digitalization such as artificial intelligence, data analytics, and e-governance reshaping public sector accountability? Do you think, is there any relevance or, Khan Sahib, please.
Again, that's a very important question in today's day and age, and it is not just the public sector. It's our economy as a whole. It's our corporate sector as a whole. It's our businesses as a whole. So whether it's, see, technology, whether you call it AI, whether you call it data analytics, whatever name you give to it, it is an enabler. So that is the mindset that anybody, especially from the financial accounting community, should start with. Number two, technology will be very good at computation, but it will be never good at decision making or making unbiased judgment. So you talked about AI. So the biggest risk that AI is running at the moment is biases. Biases could be the large language model it has been trained on. Biases could be the country in which the query was prompted or in which the query was originated. So as professional accountants, the skill that we will always have is the ability to make sense of the data and come up with a judgment which is credible and enables to add value or create value. When it comes to data science or data analytics, it is again there is another thing around it, is that what is the integrity of the data? Number two, what is the risk related to data security? What is the risk related to the cyber security? So my take for us as professional accountants is that, as has always been the case, technology, whether it is AI, data analytics, or electronically enabled, you use the word e-governance, is all about helping you create more value, and these tools help you get better in terms of generating or developing better prompts so that you're able to generate results which enable your data, which enable decision making purely to add or create value. I remember, I'll just close on this note, that in my previous work life, we used to present to the board, so they never used to ask us about the profit. They used to ask us that, show us what economic value has been added. And that economic value used to be the bonuses paid to the people, the most important capital for any organization, public sector or people, the tax contribution made to the businesses, and last but not the least, the dividends paid to the stakeholders. So that is how the role of professional accountants will always be, whatever enabler, by whatever name, uh, whether it is driven by uh, conventional data analytics or algorithms. Thank you.
Thank you, Khan Sahib. No, although it was a very healthy discussion, and I love if I could keep on going, since time is over, therefore we have to conclude it. If I may sum up the whole discussion in just 2 lines, I feel governance is the backbone for sustainable development of any country. If a country wants to be developed, then this governance framework
and that is restoring and sustaining trust in disruptive world. As per program, this session was to start at 3:40 p.m. and conclude at 4:40, and we are starting it now. So, due to time limitation, I will be very brief in my questions and request the same for the answers as well. First of all, as most of you know that I just underwent open heart surgery. So even the day before yesterday, till the day before yesterday, I was not sure whether I would be able to attend this conference or not. But this was a one-off opportunity for me to host such wonderful people and foreign delegates. So I asked for special permission from my doctor and more importantly from my home ministry. So it is a privilege to be here at this conference. And just without wasting much time, let me start. I will start with the brother Kausar Bhai, Kausar Anand Saab. Well, in emerging economies, how can management accountants strengthen institutional trust through enhanced cost transparency and accountability frameworks?
Thank you very much, Ajay bhai. Thank you, dear audience, also my fellow panelists. So this is a fine question in terms of building trust in the organization. Actually, financial reporting as a whole is a great tool or only legitimate tool to actually report organizational performance historically, now, and also for the future. So this is the link between the organization and valued external stakeholders, from regulator to common user to any shareholder. So question comes while we are even digging down into more insight, how trust factor can be more established and confidence can be earned. So as I want to look at it, actually, this is based on detailed or as granular as possible, the reporting should be. I mean, the transparency of the reporting contents. Of course, there is limitation, like you cannot place everything and anything in an annual report, but the format it should be so that the reader get convinced with the contents and presentation and also detail orientation of the report. As a management accountants, in the, of course, in a manufacturing or any organization, most of the cost actually is cost of goods sold. So in that area, which is 70 to 80% for manufacturing organization. So if we can build detailed costing system, modern systems like activity-based costing, like cycle costing, product life cycle costing. So this sort of tool actually and disclosure on each part and also on the value chain from raw material to process to finished goods to distribution, what are the major cost factors. If those can be properly captured and reported, that would give the confidence in the mind of the reader. And of course, using the standard, proper standard also very important. We are now seeing that even ESG related standard are coming, which though hearing very soft part of the report or very remote from numbers, but actually it is other way around. Like in ESG, so many qualitative factor will come into purview of the report that would help an organization to focus more detailed in every aspect in terms of environmental impact and any other impact, that would actually warrant for more detail orientation in the reporting. So that would also enhance, I mean, ESG reporting also enhance trust factor on the financial report of any organization. Thank you very much.
Yes, wonderful, Kausabhai. And coming to Mr. Mubin, President CA Bangladesh, uh, how can Bangladesh strengthen trust in its financial ecosystem through improved regulatory oversight and professional standards? Yes.
Thank you, President. First, let me congratulate ICMAB for celebrating their 75th anniversary celebrations. Secondly, thanks for inviting me in this very good event. Thirdly, listening and watching very fruitful or very informative presentations from all the keynote paper presenters. Particularly, I'm very impressed the presentations made by two honorable ministers, Senator Mohammad Isagdar and Professor Hassan Iqbal, and also the advisor to the Finance Ministry. Remarkable presentations, fantastic informations, and also the initiatives the current Pakistan government has taken. It's fact. I wish the government and the people of Pakistan, along with the accountancy body who are attached to that, for the remarkable success. Back to the questions, I think the trust in financial statements. Trust is a $1 million word, I must say. It's not proclaimed, it can be achieved, it should be built. Trust to all stakeholders can only be possible through consistency, credibility, and also enforceable oversight. Oversight bodies, from Bangladesh context point of view, is the central bank, which is the Bangladesh Bank, plays a key role. They are now working. You know, we have a 17 years some kind of negative regime prevailed in Bangladesh, and lot of things were politicalized, including the oversight bodies. The whole ecosystem was not working well. So from that point of view, I think currently the Bangladesh Bank, the central bank has taken the supervisory frameworks. They are revisiting those. They are currently working on a risk-based supervisions. They are tightening their capital adequacy ratios. They are tightening the reporting standards. And also they are working on how the audited financial statements can be more acceptable to all the stakeholders. So those are quite aggressively working. And also the supervisions, all the stakeholders, all the regulatory oversight bodies like Bangladesh Bank, BSEC, FRC, they are committed to give independency to all the bodies in the reporting sides, and also not to put any influence or any political influence on those reportings. So on the basic sides, also same, the political influence they want to avoid, and they are also monitoring the market strictly. They are tightening the IPA rules, and accordingly, they are also in the process of maintaining active supervisions. FRC, some way, are not very effective in our country. They are also working on building the trust of the stakeholders. They are working, their main scope area is the corporate reporting, standards, frameworks, and everything. So they are working on this so that the number of PIs is around 6,000 to 7,000 in Bangladesh. So they are working to reach them and also create some kind of monitoring on the financial statements on regular basis. They are also looking after the quality of the auditors or audit reports along with the ICAB. ICAB being a quasi-regulator is also working on the quality supervisions on the audit reports and the auditing work. And also ICAB is working on setting the standards, not really setting the standards, implementing the standards, and whether the auditors are following the right IFRS, ISS, and also the IFAC rules and regulations in their auditing work. But for all these, you need the right people at the right place. And the political mindset is very important with positive, good governance things. And also, I think the constant dialogue is needed with all the stakeholders in order to build a trust in the eco-financial systems. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Coming to President Safa, Brother Humayun Kabir, my question is from governance standpoint. What structural reforms are necessary to restore public trust in financial institutions post-crisis? So, what structural reforms required from governance point of view for for creating public trust? Oh yes.
Thank you. To bridge the gap of, I would say, the deficit of trust, any public institution, even private sector as well. Trust is it is something based on people's expectation. Trust is something which is beyond expectation, people's beliefs. Trust is something combination of morality and ethics that's coming to the value system. Therefore, it is not the question of reforming, it is the question of maintaining this traditional, that value system, that core values of a society, public expectations, and as a whole, in your whole total ecosystem, maintain the ethical spirit. What do you mean by ethics? What is the morality? Ethics means working individually, something selfless way, when I am delivering or I am entrusted for something beyond the greed level, individual greed and the societal expectation that I should have not avoid this traditional way of thing, like conflict of interest, like you see doing something in a so much transparent manner so that it appears that my nepotism, my biasness is not there. So having this thing is a set of core values in a society. How did this professional accountants or the profession itself, when we integrate in our educational system, when I integrate in our own, mindset, then when we are having in responsible position, when we deliver things without greed, without biasness, and avoiding the conflict of interest, and for the truly to the objective and as a normal value of total CE value, that is with an efficiency, within an economic and efficient manner. And for doing that, the mechanism of human civilization, it evolved. And today's that many times we are using the word disruption. What we say, call it digital disruption. When we say disruption, it at the same time it has a strength. Without digital mechanism, if you incorporate in the whole total system, that will ensure that many of the inbuilt, the trust deficit component, like you see that the value system, I said, all the biasness or conflict of interest, all the absence of transparency that can be accommodated through, instead of manual system, through the decision process. Second thing is that, as I said, that when in an education system, you have educate them the ethical and core value system, then obviously people will have an selfless, avoiding the conflict system of things. Therefore, education in our total curriculum, that is in very beginning form. And second is the process, making it transparent through the digitization process. So that could be the, I will say that for the reform agenda should have built in this core values to actually to be successful. Thank you.
Yes, wonderful. That is wonderful. And adding to that, a strong board composition, independence, and then whistleblowers protection is also very important. Unified standards. So these are all substantiate your answer as well. Now coming to Brother Samiullah. Yes.
I will say that because actually the problem is that nobody can hear anything. It is better you sit in middle. Please let me allow to be in you sit. You come here, then it will be at least balanced one. We can everybody it will be audible to them. That will be true justice. Please come there. Please, I did. Please you sit there, then it will be audible to them.
Yes, coming to Brother Samiullah Siddiqui, President, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. So I am asking you from Pakistan's standpoint, what key steps are required to reinforce trust in corporate governance and financial disclosures?
So the steps required by the corporate governance, I think these are not the two different topics. One is is subset of the, because corporate governance is a broader, it's an ecosystem, I would say, under which the organizations operate, and the financial reporting obviously is a subset. So if we talk about the financial reporting and in relation to the corporate governance, then obviously we have to go back to the boardrooms where the decisions from the corporate are being taken, and what the boards have established the system for an effective financial governance and the disclosure as well. Obviously, it's also drives into the and also if we take it a little broader aspect, not only the corporates, but also, if I see in Pakistan, private organization and the public sector organization in the both ends. So both are really correlated, and the way the law has developed, the way the guidance is coming up, the way IFRS is being adopted, the way we are really proactive in making the standardization into our reporting system, that really helps and drive the governance. Because when we talk about governance, the objective is to give a trust to the system, and what the trust is means, the users of the information, the users of the financial information can reliably rely on the system that are there taken in place. So I think it's a really correlated activity, and a number of steps which have been taken, like accounting standard boards are there, auditing standard board have been established, and also the digital accounting boards have been established. So objective of all these boards are ensuring the standardization into the financial reporting, and at the same part of time giving right feedback at the governance structure so that both can relate and complement each other. Thank you.
Yes, and yes, I can witness this disclosure and financial disclosure has been getting so much importance. Now we are having IFRS, then SME standards for SMEs, besides Companies Act of 2017. And then from governance point of view, we have Code of Corporate Governance for listed companies, and then for public sector enterprises. So yes, efforts are there, and these are visible. So coming to Brother Tishan, President CS Sri Lanka. My question is again from Sri Lankan's point of view, and we may have learning from it as well. What lesson can be drawn from Sri Lanka's recent economic challenges in terms of strengthening financial stewardship and accounting?
Sorry, I didn't hear you properly.
So you have gone through recent economic, in recent past, recent economic challenges, and you have come out of it, mashallah. So what lessons could you, and what are the takeaways from that?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. In fact, what happened back in 2022, the events being built up over a period of time, and it came to the peak during the year 2022, and it got burst out. I would say the first lesson learned is it's all about governance. That's governance at higher level. Then the other aspect is the independent mindset to inquire or question when things are not going in the proper way. So it's not only about the policymakers, it's the whole ecosystem, including the professionals, the media, right? The opposition of a particular country. So collectively, there's a role to be played. And then finally, as much as we fell into trouble, the comeback also has given kind of a case study. Right? So within a very short period of time, as a nation, we have come out. That again with the learned lessons and with discipline and with much more focus, we managed to come out of the situation. But I won't say we have fully come out. Still, there's room for going things wrong. But on the other hand, there's a positive side of what happened during that period also, because many new laws and regulations introduced in the country with the IMF pushing, which which in fact had brought in a lot of good practices, administrative practices within the country in terms of accountability, governance, and transparency. And also, I must say, CA Sri Lanka also played a role during the discussions with the IMF. We have several rounds of discussions with the IMF, especially that time the IMF wanted to know the asset quality of the banks and the other financial institutions. So they were worried, even though we have adopted international financial reporting standards, they were worried as to compliance, especially when it comes to the loan portfolios of banks, the quality of the loan portfolios, and also then the bond valuations, etc. These compliance of the accounting standards and the related rules and regulations were at a high stage, and it had really helped even the central bank to come out with the required policies, procedures to support the situation. And I could remember I myself participated in the discussions with the IMF. Initially, they were challenging. They were not sure whether the asset quality or the non-performing loans, if I go down a bit, that's been shown in banks, whether those numbers happen to be complete and accurate. But later on, they understood fine that part of assurance being provided by the professionals in the proper way. I think it really helped that time the country, because at the point of adopting IFRSs, we had so much of pressure from many stakeholders to slightly change the accounting standards rather than adopting the entire carbon copy version of the standard, foreign standard, international accounting standard. We did not do that. We did not do that. And we got, in that context, we got good feedback from these IMF officers also. And these lessons learned over last 2-3 years, all of us, especially ourselves, professionals, would really help the country, the profession, the nation going forward in terms of steering in the right direction. And if we see that things are not going in the required order, then to raise the voice.
Coming to our participants, we have a question for you as well. And yes. So please join slitco.com and the serial number and barcode. And you have a question there. Which factor is most important in restoring trust? So please join and start answering. Meanwhile, we continue our session. So coming back to Kausar bhai, what role can professional bodies like ICMAB play in embedding ethical governance and public sector financial discipline in the times of economic disruption?
Thank you very much. Actually, for all professional bodies, we have IPAC Code of Conduct, Integrity, Objectivity, Professional Competence, Due Care. So this is like Bible. We all have to follow this under all circumstances. So this is actually one of the great tool in terms of encompassing or capturing ethical stance for any organization, covering all aspects or all areas of the business. Of course, along with this, ethical conduct is something actually it has to be practiced from the organizational vision statement, mission statement, value statement in particular. So in the value statement, we can see that there are so many ethical point or bullet numbers are mentioned. So that is not enough. So one got to actually every day in, day out, live with those values of the organization. That is very critical. And also in organizational decision making, we got to actually give emphasize over values than any result or any profit achievement. In a longer term, actually, this value or ethical stance helps. As you can see during many debacles, like in Bangladesh, at this point of time, out of 60 banks, top 10, 15 banks are doing fantastic because they are doing good governance practices, ethical practices. So during this crisis time, many clients, lakhs or hundred thousands of clients from weaker banks are automatically coming to the big banks, and they are making tremendous good results. So this is one of the very vivid example that the ethics, it has cost to sustain, to maintain, but it pays also in a very dramatic way. Now, companies like who used to make 1,000 crore profit, they are making the profit become double. So this is one of the example that ethical practice has difficulty. It is not free of cost. It has tagged along cost, but if one can sustain it, it is actually rewarding for the organization. Of course, from professional accountants body, we can actually give policy support, education support to our members and also to the corporate, those who actually are in real life operation, though the need or essential use of this ethical stance or practice is also a bit difficult in this part of the globe, but there is no other way. There is no other options actually but to be ethically run an organization. And also all economies are getting bigger. So while one economy or organization gets bigger, it has to be more and more careful in terms of practices, because a bigger organization is more vulnerable to any unforeseen or any undue activities that may cause big damage to the organization. So on that count also, organizational top has to be equally educated and should give importance. Of course, the sustainability and other reporting, new reporting aspects should be also equally important, given important for sustenance of the organization. So this is how a professional accountant body can help organization to sustain through ethical practices. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Humayun Kabir Sahab, we have been having continuous CPD activities through these conferences in professional accounting organizations in collaboration with Safa. Then we have seminars, and then we have webinars under various committees of Safa. My question is, how can this further be enhanced, CPD activities among the Safa nations?
Increasing the collaboration.
Yes.
Thank you. I think as all my member institute president is here, they are the actually, when they remain more active, more engaged, I always say that Safa will become more collaborative, more, because if the member institute does not cooperate, does not, I will say that, act cohesively, or another word I must add, what you are saying, a disruptive word. You have to give more priority over your, sometime, the professionalism, professional interest, professional brotherhood, over in many cases probably, if not totally ignoring, at least I would say that sidelining your country-specific political interference. Without that, you see, because of this geopolitical situation, you have to feel the arts, the professional leaders, that we are a profession of globally connected, based on globally adopted standard. We have commitment beyond our jurisdiction, because when our signature is put on in a statement, or the statement we prepare, that credibility is beyond the jurisdiction, because investors coming from outside, also an employee who has interest in his employment, or the society, when you are delivering a goods, is going to, it is a quality goods or a human saving drug going beyond your jurisdiction, that entities sustainability, going concern, ensure acceptability, has a beyond jurisdiction interest. That's why I will say that when my professional colleagues, they think it with more than their jurisdictional, whatever those are in charge of governance, beyond their sets belief. Professional beliefs, professional brotherhood, professional identity, when that will have a priority, and if you take it over your national so-called jurisdictional boundary, the collaboration will continue. Third aspect is the leadership. The leadership is not only of the Safa itself, because the committee, it is a committee-driven organization. Therefore, they are the chair, the member represented from the respective institute. When they remain much more, their competency not only, their time they provide, the initiative they take, that will make it's a more easier for the leadership. Like I will give an example, because it is not because I am in Pakistan. last year, Mr. Ashraf Tola, it was a very difficult time.
Yes.
Maybe it is still going on, but it was the beginning. When something start disrupting beginning, it is not easy task. Therefore, Safa leadership that year was one of the challenging year. The keeping, either it would turn into like what is the political entity, sir, or we should have some separate thing. As a vice president to Mr. Tola, today, wherever you are gathering here, you can see how to keep an organization which has an, you say, direct impact from the political,
Yes.
the governance system. There we could keep it still alive, and at least I will say that not anyway, keep it at a limbo. It is functioning. So therefore, that's the way I will say the focus on the leadership. It is not, don't take it from me, but as I said, referring to my predecessor, I am following his footsteps probably. The next fourth dimensional is that a profession, you said, why this CPD, why this seminar, everything. The profession, keep it abreast with the continuous learning. Why?
Definitely.
I was referring to an earlier question, the deficit you are calling it trust. I said that gap of expectation gap, what we professionally call it. That is the deficit of trust, because people perception, people expectation, stakeholders expectation, the profession cannot meet. And through CPD, the continuous learning process, we are equipping, we are making our professional colleagues of future ready to meet that expectation gap. If our curriculum, if your CPD seminar, symposium, now if we select your resource person, not oriented with this expectation gap, if we do not select your webinar subject, this conferences subject, not the contemporary issue, which has no use, if it is a book, just a theoretical aspect, then it does not have no use. Therefore, to make the Safa more stronger, viable, 4 steps, 4 my suggestion. All my fellow board, those are in leader of the respective, their engagement. And if they remain engaged, their nomination, ensuring all the committee functions, all the chair remain respective member, they are there. And if they remain vigilant and they are more proactive, the function will be there. And through the committee, the webinar seminar which are going to select, if it is member oriented, if it is the public perception oriented to meet the expectation gap, we will remain relevant. And the third dimension is that to remain globally correct, because the evolving and the new areas is coming. Like it is a learning first time for everybody. Now through collaboration and sharing, like S1 and S2. S2 remains, it will be a continuous process of how one area, it is a mutual collaboration and cooperation. So is the IFRS many standard now, I don't want to. The fourth way, as I said, it is always the expected fellow feeling. Believe and feeling that we are a common people. Let whoever governs us, it is us, our hearts, our feeling, mutual, the set of expectation and gap, so that we don't increase that gap. We help, we work together to whatever the other way the imposed gap they wanted to impose upon us, we remain alert so that we remain active, we remain working together in the spirit of collaboration, cooperation remain exist. I hope I could, as I said, if we can follow it for the time being, Safa and for the sake of any global organization or the regional organization will remain active. Thank you.
Yes, I am a witness of the efforts Safa being made by Safa. They are having comparative studies within various committees. They even circulated, I am a member of Accounting Standards Committee, and that issued a questionnaire among the member bodies, members of the member bodies, and unfortunately, we got only 60 replies from the members in more than 6 months. So,
Therefore, the governing body of the respective member institute,
yes.
their role, and member at large also.
Yes.
I will say that recently the SMP committee of Safa, they have organized a series of webinar on mindset gap. It is not only learning as a professional accountant, I will say as any professional people, any discipline, they will be encouraged to be participate. It is on digital. You can start from London to Sydney to New York or from anybody, because it is on platform or virtual platform. But unfortunately, I have seen out of the 500 million member, domestically the country they are basically hosting, they have roughly 800 to 900. The rest of these countries, it was only 200. Exception is there because even from UK, Dubai, I have seen some of them, they have later phoned me. They said, sir, we have benefited. We encourage you to follow this. Through this today, I will ask my young members, please, when it is being distributed or it is being circulated from your institute, please join those webinars. And you will have an opportunity to meet not only the expert, you have interested fellow participant also. And you have an interaction with your peer group, and thus you can maintain your knowledge sharing process quicker and quick learner also. Thank you.
Reminding the participants to join slitco.com with serial number, and you can scan this code as well and answer the question, and we will shortly be having the results as well. Meanwhile, we have a question from Mr. Tishan. Tishan, how do you see the role of accountants evolving in ensuring trust in financial reporting amidst increasing digitalization and automation? Role of accountant.
Yes, as I stated in my keynote address, all these aspects would require trust. Let me just explain you a bit. Now, more technology, an accountant is used. It could be in the context of financial reporting. It could be in the context of providing assurance. Technology being used. But then say, take financial reporting system. Stakeholders rely on the information generated through the financial reporting systems. But then due to lapses in technology, due to compromise of the information systems security, cyber security, if the integrity of the information is compromised, it would in turn affect the trust factor of an accountant. Same way, take a professional accountant in practice. Now, I don't think a professional accounting in practice who's, let's say, for example, into a bank audit, can successfully complete a bank audit without using the latest technology, given the number of transactions. And in certain instances, it may require continuous auditing. So all these things would be compromised unless a due emphasis and care being put on information system security and cyber security. Wherever, I mean, whatever the role the accountant plays, technology has got an impact, but then in turn, surrounding that, information system security and cyber security is also of utmost importance.
Yes, that's right. The role includes key pillars like system validation, data governance, continuous assurance, ethical judgment, and of course, cyber security. Yes. Coming to Brother Samiullah Siddiqui, ICAP, both ICAP and ICMA Pakistan have practicing firms. So how do you see, how can practicing firms and regulators work together to ensure higher level of transparency and accountability?
Yeah, I think it's a very pertinent, very relevant question. Azim Bhai, in particular, in the current economic scenario, it even becomes more relevant and more critical and important for us. Now, what we see, what's the ecosystem that is being provided, or that is being made available by the institutions like ICAP and ICMAP, where we can engage more and more on the platforms, the common platforms. Like I was just mentioning about the accounting standard boards, the auditing standard board, the digital accounting board, audit and assurance board. So these are the common platforms where we engage with them, understand with them, and because the challenges on both ends need to be understood well to really counter the what is really coming up towards the from the economy from the world. Now I just refer to one of the poll which has been done. If you all can see overwhelmingly, Azim bhai, it says that ethical leadership is actually what is driving this the trust. So this is also a very pertinent and relevant for the firms and also for the regulators. The trust between the bridge, because from what or firms do, they bridge between the regulators and the systems and the financial statements and the reporting. The more robust system that are being put in place by the firms, the better trust they will have placed on the financial systems. And working together on the common groups eliminates any biases, eliminates any gaps, and also ensures the timely understanding of the challenges. Because understanding the regulator perspective is also very, very critical for us to taking things forward. And that's where the role of ICAP and ICMA really comes in, where they come in and they clarify things, provide the opportunities of learning opportunities, understanding opportunities, clarifications where the compliances are become easier and compliances are more relevant, so that the expectation of the regulators are being met. So although I know answer can be more, but I think in the interest of time, these are the quick basic pointers I think which I really wanted to highlight here. Thank you.
So coming to the question was, which factor is most important in restoring trust? Ethical leadership, transparency, strong governance, independence, and stakeholder engagement. So ethical leadership and transparency both have 42% each, strong governance 11%, and independent oversight 5%. Stakeholders engagement has not been considered relevant. Okay, so coming to our next question, and this will be our last question from Mr. Mubin. Mubin Sahab, you are the president of one of the accounting profession regulators, that is ICAP. So what initiatives can ICAP undertake to enhance the credibility of financial reporting in both public and private sector?
Thank you. Actually, a credible financial statements lies on three pillars, in my view. The first one is the quality of standards applied in preparing the financial statements. The second one is obviously the competence of the preparer and also reviewer. And the third one is obviously a robust regulatory systems or oversight bodies. In the first one, the quality of standards, ICAB accepted all the standards like IFRS, ISA, IFAC, all the rules we are applying. ISBA Code of Ethics, we are also following that one. IFRS for SME, that is recently enacted by FRC. Actually, till 2015, ICB was the responsible to accept all the international standards. But after enactions of the FRC, now it is the responsibility of the FRC to amalgamate all the standards. But it must be in collaboration with ICB. So we are in the forefront. Whatever standards is coming, we tested that one. We do the training programs for the members, preparers, and the reviewers, and we implement along with the stakeholders and FRC. We are also in the process of implementing the S1 and S2, initially in the central bank or in the banking systems, but obviously we are working with FRC for a similar sustainability reporting in the corporate sectors. So we are also working. Competence development, we have the members both in profession and also in service. So you are doing the CPDs, we are doing the training programs, also for the non-ICB members. So you are working, that is the constant things we are doing all the times. We are currently also in the process of having training on AI in the establishment on AI lab. We are in the process. We are also doing programs from taking the Safa resources on AI, ethics, and sustainability. Recently, we had one program from resources from India, ICA, and also one resources on ethics from Sri Lanka. So that was very well accepted by our members. On the robust of the oversight system, which holds accountables for a trusted financial statements, FRC has a great role on this. Me and Mr. Kausar, being the president, so we are also sitting in the council of FRC. So that helps a lot to push them for implementing some regulatory things and also supporting the FRC on these standard settings and implementations and follow-up things. So that is very important. We are also working in some changes if required in FRC. So we are working on this also. And obviously the reforms which are needed in various places related to the financial reporting, we are working all the regulators in Bangladesh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mobin Bhai. So this comes to the end of this session, and I'm really thankful to all the worthy presidents, President CA Sri Lanka, President CA Pakistan, President CA Bangladesh, President CMA Bangladesh, and of course our President Safa, Humayun Kabir Bhai. I take this opportunity to be very thankful to my brother Muhammad Yasin, Vice President ICMA Pakistan, who is also the chairman of organizing committee of this conference, for the hard efforts. And unfortunately, I could not support you for last 1 month in any manner, and it is all your effort single-handedly. I appreciate that. And then your committee members as well, they must have given you a real support. And the secretariat.
Azim bhai, before you finish, let me say 1 minute. Something.
Okay.
I know the thickness of our audience is reducing. I am not saying it has become now thinner. Still, there are some, still they are eager to listen. But what should have been, as a Safa president, as a guest of you, at the end, very almost close to the end, I must say, sir, your extraordinary leadership, your commitment. Because many of you, I don't know, either know, Brother Azim has just had a heart surgery 3 weeks before. And organizing such an event having an international presence of more than 30 plus foreign delegates, including comprising of at least 4 or 5 countries. And virtually yesterday in the meeting also everybody was present and giving the logistics support, mobilizing the resources, and in fact those in working together, the spirit. It is without the leadership, it is impossible. I salute you, sir. I join the audience to give a big thanks, I don't know in the clapping point, to this successful leader. And that way, the ICMA-P, or you call ICMA International, it is 75 years of legacy. This is the testimony how a organization create, foster, and I will say that what we call it, the present to the society and the leadership position to others. We really, it is an inspiring leadership for your younger as a mentor, as a leader, and I am sure when we are from the foreign delegates, it is also for us and as a, if not mentorship, but certainly encouraging and inspiring for us to follow your suit. I wish you full recovery. May the Almighty Lord bless you and you remain fit and well and continue to lead the profession here and the regionally, maybe in globally. Thank you. I will again, from my core of heart, from my entire Safa contingent, you and your team who have worked tirelessly and particularly under your leadership, I will say that let it be the proof and testimony how Safa collaborate, cooperate, and even within the withstanding the odds, we can remain united and we can have together to carry forward the flag and hand over to our future generation. That is sustainability. What we inherit, we want to hand over to beyond our time for the future to maintaining the spirit and improve more. So thank you once again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure is all ours. And besides Muhammad Yasin Saab, my appreciation for all National Council members who worked tirelessly for this conference. Then not to forget the Secretariat as well, under the leadership of Mr. Amir Ijaz Khan, Executive Director, and our Senior Director, Members Affairs, Mr. Asim Hussain, and his whole team who worked day and night for last more than 2 months approximately. And finally, my special thanks to all the participants who came in big number and joined this conference. Thank you.
I request all the panelists and moderator to remain on the stage for shield distribution ceremony. As we wrap up this engaging session, I would like to request Mr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir, President Safa, on stage for the shield distribution ceremony, along with Mr. Muhammad Yasin, Vice President, ICMA Pakistan, Mr. Abdul Qayyum, Treasurer, Mr. Ziaul Mustafa, Mr. Ghulam Mustafa Qazi, and Mr. Amir Ijaz, Executive Director.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for everyone present on stage. First of all, to receive the shield, we have Mr. MD Kausar Alam, FCMA. A big round of applause for Mr. MD Kausar Alam. With him, we have Mr. NKA Mobin, FCA. The next person to receive his shield is Muhammad Humayun Kabir. Mr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir. The next person on stage with us, we have Mr. Tishan Subasinghe. Put your hands together for Mr. Tishan Subasinghe. Put your hands together, audience, please. Then we have with us Mr. Muhammad Samiullah Siddiqui, FCA. Then we have Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, President ICMA Pakistan.
Let's acknowledge their efforts with a warm round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Everyone, please remain on stage for a group photograph. All the ICAP council members are requested to please come on stage for a group photograph so that we can make this moment memorable. All the ICAP council members are requested to please join us on stage in a big round of applause. I would like to invite Mr. Asad Hamid on stage with us.
A wonderful gathering deserves a memorable capture. Kindly look towards the camera for the official photograph.
I would like to please invite Mr. Zubair on stage with us. Now I would like to invite all the organizing staff of ICMA to please come on stage and have a group photograph.
All the volunteers are requested to please come on to the stage for the group photo.
All the ICMA staff and the volunteers of ICMA organizing team. I would like to invite Mr. Asif Awan on stage to please join us in the group photograph. Mr. Asif Awan.
Let us capture this memorable moment together. Now all the volunteers are requested to please join us on stage.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Please have a seat.
Everyone is requested to please kindly be seated.
Be seated, everyone, as we have a few things left for the conclusion of this summit. Please have your seats. The conference has not been ended yet.
Behind every successful event are valued partners whose support and collaboration make such gathering possible. We are truly appreciate their contribution and commitment. At this moment, we would like to acknowledge and appreciate the valued support of our sponsors whose partnership has played an important role in making this event possible.
Now we would like to invite, first of all, we have from Dolans, Mr. Muhammad Naveed, Regional Sales Manager from Dolans.
I would like to request Mr. Muhammad Humayun Kabir, President Safa, Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, President ICMA Pakistan, and Mr. Muhammad Yasin, Vice President ICMA Pakistan, to distribute shields among sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly take your seats.
First of all, I would like to invite from Dolans, Mr. Muhammad Naveed, Regional Sales Manager from Dolans. Please come on stage and receive your souvenir.
From Allied Bank Limited, we have Mr. Naim Raza, Group Head, IB Operation, Products and Policies Management. From Allied Bank, we have Mr. Muhammad Naim Razak. Please join us on stage.
Now, I would like to invite from Exim, Export Import Bank of Pakistan, Mr. Shehbaz Hassan Sayyed, President of Exim.
Mr. Shehbaz is requested to please kindly join us on stage. From Oil and Gas Development Company, we have Mr. Muhammad Umar, Manager Government Audit Compliance. Mr. Muhammad Umar is requested to please kindly join us on stage.
From Fauji Cement Company Limited, we have Mr. Tariq Mahmood, DGM Finance. Fauji Cement Company Limited, I would like to invite Mr. Tariq Mahmood, DGM Finance.
From Institute of Knowledge and Leadership, we have supporting partner Syed Nasir, General Manager, IKL UMT. Mr. Syed Nasir, General Manager, is requested to please kindly join us on stage.
Thank you so much to all our sponsors. Thank you so much, sir, to on stage and present the shields to our sponsor. A huge round of applause for our sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a huge list of sponsors with us. For gold sponsor, we have OGDCL. Next, for silver sponsors, we have Dolans, Askari Bank, United Bank Limited, Central Depository Company of Pakistan, Exim Bank of Pakistan. For bronze sponsors, we have Fauji Cement Company Limited, National Radio and Telecommunication Corporation, Bank Al Habib, Bank Al Falah, Allied Bank Limited. A huge round of applause for all the sponsors of this event.
Thank you so much, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. As we conclude the Safa International Future of Finance Summit 2026, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to all keynote speakers, moderators, panelists, sponsors, delegates, media representatives, and organizing teams for making this summit successful. Your presence and participation have truly strengthened the spirit of regional collaboration and professional excellence. We hope your stay in Lahore remains memorable and enriching. Thank you very much and goodbye for now. Pakistan Zindabad. Safa Paindabad.